It's the first day of June, and my oh my, is it a good day. I had today off, I slept in, I played with Coco, I got some coffee, I'm going to the comic shop with my old man, and the mailman came early. Well, I say mailman, but it was the Amazon delivery guy, because I got some loot I want to talk about. And for me, I just want to say real quick, this that I'm going to talk about, I talked about that yesterday. But for you guys, it was a month because that's how editing and filming works, so I'm going to rant on watercolor. So here's a time code if you want to skip it because you remember last month's conversation about it, but I want to talk about it because it relates to the loot that I bought, which what I purchased is this right here. So this is by Passion for Masterpiece, at least that's the only name I could find on the box. That isn't what the product is, which is an empty watercolor palette with tins. So it also comes with half pans, and this is a 48 half pan count, so quite big. And I am going to talk about my history and use of watercolor because I'm going to use this as the basis to make my own custom watercolor case that I can use for professional, because right now it's kind of scatterbrained between 3 tins, and I have my first watercolor pan that they're all built in so I can't take them out, and I really want to talk about this too. So here is my watercolor print. I really like watercolor. You guys know that I use alcohol markers to color all of my artwork with. However, I decided to start using watercolor and take advantage of the transparent medium. That's the nature of watercolor. And so I picked up this watercolor set first. This is by Suguru. It's a really good watercolor set. I really recommend it for beginners trying to start out. Pick it up on Amazon because Michaels has it way overpriced. But yeah, it's really good. It's a great little travel kit. I am hesitant to get rid of this because I still like it, even though I don't really use it that much. I might give it to a friend who is trying to get into watercolor because she could probably use it more than me, or I might give it to Sarah. I haven't decided yet. Actually, no, I think I'm going to give it to my friend because Sarah can just use my stuff, because what's mine is hers and hers is mine. We're getting married, and I'm not going to be like, no, you can't touch my stuff. No, she's my wife. She could use whatever she wants in here, as long as she doesn't break it, and as long as I don't break her stuff. I think that's a good rule. But yeah, I'm probably going to end up giving this to my friend who's trying to get into art. Well, she is a good artist, but she's getting into watercolor, and I think she's going to do really good with this set. And they also make a 24 pack, but instead of upgrading to that pack, I ended up upgrading to a Winsor Newton 24 series, which is this one here. Now, that should come to no surprise because I am a huge Winsor Newton fan. Out of all of the art supplies that I've used over the years, they're the ones that I always come back to. They're the ones that I sing the praises of. They're probably my favorite art company, and they make my favorite stuff. I mean, they make my favorite ink of all time, and their alcohol markers are so good, they're kind of starting to replace Prismacolor in my eyes. And you guys know, I love Prismacolor. They're the first alcohol markers I use. I really like their quality and their price range, and I love their gouache. Like, their gouache is so amazing. It's super high quality. And one thing to keep in mind is that when I say they make my favorite ink, I mean they make my favorite ink. When it comes to an ink that I'm going to do a piece that's like my default ink that I'm going to use, it's Winsor & Newton. And if you watch the channel, all I do is review art stuff, and most of it is ink. I do tons of ink reviews. I'm an inker by trade. That is my favorite part of art. That's my specialty in the field of art, is inking, and I genuinely love their ink. It is amazing. Out of all the products I've tried tons of inks. I've tried their gouache, I've tried their watercolor, I've tried their alcohol markers. There was only one product I didn't like from them. Oh, by the way, I also have their shading pencils. Those are amazing as well. The only thing that I've tried from them that I haven't liked is their whiting. I think their whiting is generally really bad. It's terrible. Every other product they've made is phenomenal. I heavily recommend Winsor & Newton to professional artists. So, as someone who is a big fan of Winsor & Newton, and someone who has been told multiple times that their watercolor is really good by people on YouTube, by friends of mine, I said, you know what, I'm going to pick up their 24 count, which is this one here, and I love this set. This is my favorite watercolor set that I own. For one, and you can see I've used it quite a bit. What I like about this is, while it is kind of an awkward shape with this weird lip here, it is really nice and compact. You have room for a sponge, and I'm going to talk about this room in a minute, but what I really like is that it has room to expand and it's collapsible. So you can take out this pan and attach it here so you have extra room to work, and this pan here also comes out, so both of them are easy to clean. They're removable. I really like that, and you're gonna miss that because not all of Winsor & Newton's ones do that. So, after I purchased this, and keep in mind I had it for probably like 2-3 weeks so I couldn't return it, I found at a Ross this set right here, which is the Winsor & Newton 42 set, which, yeah, this is awesome. I love the color range in here. Like, here is the little swatch, literally like double the colors here. However, actually no, it's not quite, because this is 42 and this is like 24, so not exactly double. But I don't like this container. For one, when you open it, it's a little tricky to open. It's not as smooth, and there's no removable palette. So this isn't a palette. This is just the case. So there's no palette in here. And then when you lift this out, first off, mine's broken, so it just comes out. But this is the the palette, and I don't think it's meant to be removable, so how do I clean and wash it? Like, this is not well designed. Like, I don't like how big it is because it takes up too much space on my desk. This is compact and expandable. This is just kind of obnoxious. I don't like it that much. The colors are great. I love the selection, and I haven't used this one that much opposed to this one because, again, it takes up too much space, and this hinge is broken. Overall, as much as I love the colors, I don't think this is a good presentation for them. Now, when I picked this one up, I did notice that since there weren't that many, well, honestly, there aren't any good skin tones in this set. In fact, even in the expanded one, there isn't really a good skin tone color in here. I decided to pick up this cheap watercolor set, which I forget the name of the company. I'm going to put it right here. I just got to look it up. I was too lazy and just was kind of spare the moment throwing together. This is a skin tone set that I love. I think it comes with 12 colors, and it is really nice. I really like it. And while normally I do use watercolor only to color energy effects, I did do a piece where I did all the coloring with watercolor, including the skin tone. It's this piece right here, and I absolutely love how it came out. This skin tone set is amazing. So I decided, hey, this set here, and if you look up advertisements for it, actually advertises that it has room to expand. Now, the half pans in this set is held by what they call a unique cartridge. It can hold 4, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of these, but you have room for 2 more. So I thought they sell these separately, and I decided to look online for them. After spending way too long looking for these, I realized that Winsor & Newton doesn't sell them separate. They advertise you can purchase them to expand it, but I don't know why they didn't. Like, maybe they had it planned and it just fell through, because I couldn't find evidence that they even sold them in the past. I just couldn't find any evidence of it. I checked their website, I checked online, I checked eBay, so did a lot of research, spent way too much time on it. So I came to the conclusion that unfortunately I can't put half pans in here, because if you just put them in here without the cartridge, they're too loose, and I'm not going to buy a second one of these just for 2 of the cartridges. So instead, I went, and by the way, I want to get the cartridges in here so I could take the skin tones from this set and put them in here, but I can't do that, and I don't want to have 2 of these on my desk at once. So I went out and purchased this piece of loot that I showed you. Now, this is, of course, a little interesting because if you notice, it's the trifold design that I'm not a huge fan of. However, the way this works, I think I can remove this tray here, and if you look, it's not really a mixing pan. It's not like a tray, like an actual like paint tray, but this one is. So I'm going to keep the top, remove this one, and it also, I think, has a ring on the bottom, which is, you know, something that this thing has. So I'm going to remove that and just kind of make it where this is my actual holds all my colors. So I'm going to take all the colors from this one. I'm going to take the colors from this one. I'm going to put them all in this one. And whatever I have left, this will be my backup that will store everything, because I really don't like the design of this. I wish this was like easier to expand. And this one is great, but it, you know, it's skin tone set, so it doesn't have a lot of range of colors that aren't, you know, skin related. This one I'm super excited for, and I can't wait to open it up and put it all together. That's why I grabbed my little list here, which I kept, and I'm glad I did, because I'm going to go through and I'm going to fill this thing up, and I am super excited. So, long rant aside, we're probably, what, like 6 minutes in here. That was my watercolor rant. I'm going to go to the comic shop soon with my dad, and I'm going to have an awesome, fun time. So, with that said, let's cut to the remainder of this month. So, I realized I didn't open it on camera. It's open now. Yeah, it looks exactly like it does on the box. Super nice. And I've already started to make those modifications that I talked about. Here is the ring that was in the back, and then here is the little metal pin that was actually in here, which kept this tray in. Now, you can see it has a little spot for like the grooves of watercolor, which I really don't use. I don't know why these are here, and I prefer it's just this simple opening. This is more than enough for me as a palette, and you can see the half pans are already in here. So what I can do is I can take them out, and I could put the Winsor & Newton ones in here because they're literally the exact same. And there's also the spot in the middle, so I can take one of the brushes that I have and put it in here, and I think that's going to look really nice. Now, I'm going to go through and pick out the colors that I will absolutely use the most, because one thing that's nice, if you pull out these half pans, they do actually have the name of the color on the side, which is super nice. So I'm going to go through both sets and grab like some extra reds and grab mostly from this set and then get the extra colors from here. And then I'm going to go through here and I'm going to grab the skin tone sets, almost all of them. Like, I don't need the yellow, but like this one, of course. And this set, unfortunately, they don't name their actual like colors, which does kind of stink, but it's no big deal. I'll just grab a piece of paper and swatch them real quick. But pretty much most, if not all of these colors are going to go in this one, and almost all of these colors are going to go on here, and then I'll have all the backups in this one. I'm still going to keep this one because I paid like I paid like $48, $45 for this. So I'm gonna keep this even though I don't like it because it was expensive, and I do like the fact that it's engraved on the side. I'll find a use for this at some point. I may make like another custom watercolor set and give away to you guys. I don't know, but I think it's going to be something really fun. Let me know if you guys would be up for that. I think if we hit like 1,000 subscribers, I'll do it. But yeah, I just thought I'd update you on this, and now I have to take all these pans out and then plan my colors. So that's gonna be fun. It's gonna take a while. All right, so super quick update. I went through my huge Winsor & Newton watercolor set and hand-picked all the colors that I wanted. So here are the extra colors, which yeah, there were duplicates in here, but also the colors that didn't quite make the cut. Now I may put in some more black and some more white, we'll see, but right now I have my first 3 rows of 12. I also have my brush here, which fits perfectly right there. There's the empty tray right there. And one thing I did notice is that the half pans that this comes with are full squares, while these ones aren't. You can see they're slightly angled. They still fit in here pretty well. I just had to bend the metal just a little bit. But yeah, I'm very excited. Now I'm gonna go through my skin tone set. However, it is worth noting that I mentioned before how none of these at all are labeled. So I'm just gonna quickly swatch them. So I got my water cup right here. I got my brush. So I'm just gonna swatch them, and I'm going to hand pick the ones in here. And if I have any slots left, I'm probably going to put an extra black and white one in there. So yeah, just want to give you guys an update on that. I honestly can't tell if this is the desk of a madman or a genius. You decide. But after literally like 2 or 3 hours, I came to my final conclusion, my 48 colors. There are some duplicates, there are some things I do want to talk about, but I am so happy with this layout. I'm so happy with this choice. Now, I swatched almost every color. I did so much swatching, but you know what? It's fine. It's worth it. All the half pans are here. This is empty, and these half pans don't fit in here. This is empty, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with these two. This one I couldn't do anything. It's just here for, you know, display. This is what's left. So not every color that was in here made the cut. I did take some colors out that I felt were repetitive, that I would probably never use, but I put them in here. Then after I picked everything, I went through the skin tone, I grabbed what I needed. I then was like, what colors, because I had some extras left. I was like, what colors did I use the most? So I put 2 reds, I put 2 greens, like my emerald green, my hue red, my cobalt blue, and then I have 2 grays, 2 blacks, and 2 whites. So yeah, I'm very happy with this layout and choice. Now, it starts with yellow, goes to orange, then we get red, and we get some kind of like violets, you know, more of that purpley red. Then we get some blues here. Then we get some of the purples, like the more blue purples. Then we get, of course, our greens, and then our yellows, and then we have our skin tone, and we got our gray, black, and white. So very, very happy with the choice here. I really like it. And again, all the colors that didn't make the choice are in here, and they can all fit in here perfectly. I got, of course, my brush that I'm going to keep in here too. I got it all set. I modified the tin to fit everything in. I am so happy with this choice. I can't wait to put it all together and just have my custom selection of colors. I was tempted to put some gouache in here, but I was like, you know what? No, I'd rather just work with it straight from the tube. I really don't like working with it from a half pan. I like the tube more. And then here's my thing. This I'm going to give to my friend. I already talked about that. But now I have 2 empty cases. And this is a Winsor New one, so like this, you know, it's actually like a nice case. I don't like it, but it's a nice case, so I'm like, what do I want to do with these? So I'm gonna figure that out. But let's go ahead and put this all together to show you guys. I'm very excited. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of dumb. I miscounted. I thought it was 12 per row. No, it's 13. So yeah, I kind of added some more colors, a few more duplicates, but yeah, it's pretty much the same, just a little like an extra row, so a little longer. But yeah, let's go ahead and assemble this thing. So if seeing how much of this vlog is dedicated to just one thing, and that being a watercolor set, at the beginning of the month, I'm dedicating this much time to this, doesn't convince you I'm a huge freaking nerd who puts a lot of time, effort, and thought into layouts, I don't know what else will. But keep in mind, my background was originally in graphic design before switching to animation and illustration, so I am super excited to finally have this done. Like, when I redid my marker set, it took probably longer than this. So let's go ahead and show you guys the final selection, the final layout, all put together. I'm so excited. So without further ado, the grand reveal. That looks so cool. I'm so happy with this. Like, I love the fact that I still have a little spot for my brush, but the fact that this is, granted, not a product I'm making. This is not like my own custom paints or my own custom tin, but this is something that I've assembled to be my custom watercolor layout. Like, I love the color selection. I love how they're laid out. I love how they all fit perfectly in line. I love how it's primary all the way down to here, and then you have the skin tones, and then black, white, and gray. Like, it just, this came out so good. And I now know that when I do watercolor, it's all in one spot, all the colors I need, everything that I want to use is right here. And this is awesome. Like, this is so cool. I'm so happy I took the ring off on the bottom. I'm so happy I took this extra tray off. Like, this is just awesome. I love the feel of this. I love the shape too. Now, it actually is pretty much the same size as this, which is kind of funny, but yeah, it's the exact same size. And as much as I love this set, I love this watercolor set, don't get me wrong, I'm not a huge fan of this like kind of weird shape in the front. So I love how this is perfectly squared, and it's a good chunk smaller than the large set and takes up less space on my desk. So I am so happy I did this. It was a lot of work, but man, it was worth it. So I can't wait to, in fact, the sketch that I'm currently working on in my sketchbook, I'm going to watercolor the background. Here it is, so you can see I did all the alcohol coloring. I'm gonna do a watercolor background. And I bought a magic eraser to try and do a lightning effect. So yeah, I am so excited. I was about to say, like, I can't wait to do a watercolor piece, but wait, I'm gonna do one. So yay, it worked out. I am excited. The only thing is, I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with this, because this is empty, and well, I don't really have a purpose for it now. So I'll figure that out. It's later in the day, and I spilled paint all over my Superman shirt, which is why I'm wearing the Spider-Man shirt, and I really hope that I could get the paint off. It's in the washer. I put like a ton of chemicals on it. I like drenched it in bleach. I really hope, because I like that shirt, that I can get it all off. But I'm going to not talk about the watercolor set anymore. I know I went off on it. I love how it looks. It came out super nice. And we're going to put it to the side. It's going to be still in eyesight for me, but off frame for you guys. And I got loot from both Jerry's and the comic shop, and I really want to talk about both of them because I'm very excited. So the first bit of loot is this. This is a round 5 by the C.H.A.M.B.E.R Artist Company, which I really like these brushes. Their round 3 is currently my favorite brush of all time. Admittedly, I did buy this brush for this set. I know I said I wouldn't mention it, but I kind of forgot about that detail. So this is going to live in the watercolor set with my other Winsor & Newton one. So yeah, just gonna put that there off camera. Now I won't talk about the watercolor for the rest of this clip. I can't promise the rest of the month I will definitely be talking about it, but for the rest of this, we can stop. And for those of you who don't know, and I would be surprised because I talk about it a lot, but we may have some new people here. I've mentioned multiple times this is my favorite sketchbook currently, and this is a Strathmore mixed media sketchbook. I think this is like 7.5 by like 6.5 or 5.5, something like that. I love this thing. This is a really, really nice sketchbook. It's one that I'm really happy to work with because of the quality of the paper. It takes like everything super well. Now, it does ghost through, as you can see if you look through the sketchbook. There's a lot of ghosting, but it's a really, really nice sketchbook that I really like to work with, and I really have enjoyed filling these up. I mean, this is the 5th one that I've owned, and I only have 7 pages left, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna need a new one soon, because I do about a drawing a day or a drawing every 2 days, depending how long it takes or how complex the backgrounds are. So I went to I went to Jerry's to go get another one. However, I saw this. This caught my attention. This is a Render R. It drives you crazy. It's R-E-N-D-R, but it's a backwards R. So Render, this is a no show through paper, and this is by Crescent, the creative products company, which actually, is that the same? Nope, this is Creative Marks Artist Product Company. This is Creative Products Company, totally different. But yeah, I'm really excited to give this a test. And if you look on the front of the sketchbook, the way it advertises, it shows that it has non-bleed through and ghost proof. So you're not gonna fade. Like, it's literally built up as the ultimate mixed media sketchbook. It advertises it works with all mediums. So I am super excited to test this out. I can't believe that it's claiming it's no show through, no ghosting, no bleeding, nothing. I want to put this to the test. So I bought one. This was the closest size to this one, and it is a little bigger. It's also a hardback, which you guys know I like softback sketchbooks, but whatever. I want to give this a try. Now, for those of you who have been watching Battle Loot for a while, you would know that I did pick up a large sketchbook of this before in the past. It was thinner. It was also a much larger paper. I think it was like around this scale, which is 11 by 14, which I really like to use, especially for like inked illustrations. I picked that up, and I haven't used it yet, but I don't want to have an 11 by 14 sketchbook because I want something a little smaller. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that review. I'm going to talk about the paper, but what I'm also going to do is make a sketchbook and like fill it with a bunch of drawings and actually put it to the test, because I can do like 1 or 2 drawings a video. I'm okay with committing to that, but filling up a whole sketchbook, that's a big commitment for one video. So I think buying another one and having it as just like my default sketchbook for like a few months or like 6 months, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with doing that in the background when I work on other videos, and I'm really curious to see if it lives up to it, which will make making that video much easier, and it will be very interesting to do a full-on review of this because I'm very excited. So I picked this up. Now, this usually sells for $25. This was $30, so $5 more $4. It's bigger, you get more pages, which, by the way, this I think comes with 64 pages, which works out to, what, like 32 sheets, something like that? No, I'm sorry, I have it backwards. It's 96 pages, but 32 sheets. While this is 84 sheets for 96 pages. So very interesting. I can't wait to try this. So that's that. And then lastly, we have the thing from the comic shop, which, oh boy, I saw this, I had to have it. Now you guys would know that, I want to say not in the last month vlog, but 2 months ago, I found the second ever team up of Batman in the Shadow. Well, I found the first, and oh man, it is in beautiful condition. You guys know, Batman, favorite superhero of all time. However, I really like the Shadow, one of my favorite Pulp Fiction superheroes of all time. And if we didn't have the Shadow, we wouldn't have Batman, because Batman's essentially a knockoff of the Shadow and the Phantom and Zorro and Sherlock Holmes. I really like the character, but when you look at him, it's like he's really kind of a knockoff. But yeah, overall, absolutely love this, and I can't wait to put it on my wall. Now, of course, we are moving, so I can't put it on my wall now. I'm going to have to put it on the wall in the studio, but I have to pack it nice and neat first. So very excited to have this in my collection. Huge fan of both characters, and I can't believe I finally have their first ever crossover in comic book form. Very happy about that. And I can't wait to try some of this stuff out. I think it's going to be really cool to go through here. It's also going to be awesome to finally do some painting. So overall, very excited. Here's the sketch that I'm currently working on. I just painted, this is watercolor, the yellow on the magic circle. So I'm going to put some green over that to help give it an energy pop. And then I'm going to watercolor the background. So very excited to do all that. And yeah, I think we are done for today. I'm probably going to go to Chris and Alex's house to watch some Stranger Things because I'm super excited for season 4 and I can't wait. Man, this, tell you, Stranger Things is a really good show. And I know it's cliche because everyone always talks about it, but it actually is really good. So very excited about that. Let's go ahead and get on to the rest of this month. Look at this. My hair is poofy. It's super poofy. I look like a Dragon Ball Z character. I could be the main character of my own anime. Actually, no, because my hair's not brightly colored or green or red or blue, whatever. Anyway, so just ignore my hair. But I do have some quick updates. We are going full forward into the move. We are actually packing a lot. In fact, this is really going to be the last batch of loot for a bit, and it's going to be mostly updates. But I do have a drawing to show you. I finished this watercolor drawing, which came out phenomenal, and I really like how just different it is, because normally I don't watercolor wrap, because I use watercolor for energy effects. So like, for example, this drawing of the magician, I use watercolor for her magic and for the background, but for the magic. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to do a drawing of Wrath and just watercolor it. I really like how it came out. It's all watercolor except for the black, it's ink. And then I also took this and used this as the base and did a new version of it, which I'm going to put up here. This is for our store grandma. Every Dollar Tree, every store has a store grandma, which is either a customer, a employee, somebody that is the store grandma. And we have one, and I drew her my own redo of this where I liked this one, but I really want to do something special, so I took that. As you can see, I redid the gargoyle, I added some lightning, I redid the moon. I really like how this version came out, and I can't wait to give it to her. It's going to be my gift for her, and I know she's gonna love it, so I'll give you guys an update on that. But I do have 2 books that I stole from my dad's library, along with a 3rd book that I got at the comic shop. So I'm going to talk about this one. This is Dante the Divine Comedy, and this has all 3 of Dante's chapters, so which is Inferno, Victorium, and Celestia. I might have those 2 wrong, but essentially it's Hell, Purgatory, and Heaven, which, I mean, like, say what you will about the story, but the iconology, like, it's iconic. Like, the way Dante depicted hell back then, like, these are concepts and ideas that are still super creative today, and I thought, you know what, my dad's gonna give the book away, might as well grab it. So I have that, and then I also found this book, which is Great Painters of the World, which I thought was pretty cool, and so it just has, like, different painters from around the world. It's a pretty interesting read. Unfortunately, it's one of those books where the pages are glossy, so because of how old it is, they sometimes like stick together and kind of sound weird. I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, so it's a really good book. I looked through it and I really like a lot of the old paintings in here. I think it's really something that is a cool book, and I definitely grabbed that from my dad before he decided to give that away. And the last book that I want to talk to you guys about is this one here. This is George Perez Storyteller. Now, for those of you who don't know, George Perez is one of my favorite comic book artists of all time. Really something that has happened more in the last 5 years. I've really grown to appreciate his art. You know, I was always surrounded by it as a child, but being able to really see the work and study it, I mean, the dude is an amazing artist. I mean, just a master of team books. The ability to just draw so many different body types, and the work ethic. And for me, he's also like super inspirational because he was probably the first Puerto Rican like comic book artist, not like ever, but like prolific. And not to mention the fact that he did create one of the first Spanish superheroes of all time, White Tiger. So super influential for me. Of course, you know, my mom's Puerto Rican, my dad's Cuban, so really someone that is very influential influential and just like inspiring for me. And I really am happy that I got this book because it does talk a lot about his life. It talks about his work. You get to see some of his pencils, and you get to, I would have loved to see an actual like artisan book on him. The one that I have found on Amazon is like $500, and I'm not buying that. But yeah, this is another one where I was really happy to pick up, and this was a super cheap buy. It was only $30, and I think it's worth it. It's a really, really good book on a really amazing artist that we unfortunately lost last month. So that is again something that's a little pressing. But that's everything for today. I'm gonna give you updates on some other stuff, and yeah, pretty much the rest of the vlog will just be updating on the move and how we're going. And a lot of the room has been packed. In fact, I actually got rid of some bookshelves. So yeah, it's kind of crazy to see this place just kind of be packed up, considering I've lived here for what, 6-7 years. So kind of insane. But yeah, so we'll just be doing updates, making it work, and that's the plan. Coco, you're not a show dog. What are you doing in there?
It should.
You silly bean. You silly little bean. Well, you are good, so good. You should be a show dog. You're so good. He's been like this for a minute. He's playing Coco, you whooped him so bad. He realized the only way to win was to lose. To survive is to lose. He's playing dead because you whooped him so bad, Coco. You need to calm down.
He just keeps moving his eyeball.
Oh no, it's not working. I'm gonna try and do this without showing off the loot, but yeah, look at that. More and more of the room has been packed up. There's an echo. I have no more furniture here, and this is different, and that's gone, and yeah, it's very, very different. Now, a few quick updates, and I do have some loot that I want to talk about real quick, but we got more stuff done. We actually had a huge moving day the last few days where we just got a lot of stuff moved into storage. We got a lot of stuff moved out. We had a lot of stuff given to Goodwill. We had some stuff given to friends and family, so we had definitely a big day, and I feel like we got a lot done. Now, I have actually also written a few spec scripts for when we do get settled into the new house and some new things that I have planned. But I do have some sketches to show you. And by sketches, I mean fully realized drawings. So one, I absolutely love how this one came out. I don't know if I showed it finished, but it looks amazing. And then I decided to draw Greed again, and oh man, this one came out really good. I love the aggressive perspective. I love how the cloud of smoke came out. And I also like, if you look close, you could see the claw marks in the side of the building from her climbing up. I really like this. Came out amazing. And I have only 4 pages left in this sketchbook. So if you guys don't know, I don't remember if it was this month or last month I mentioned it, but I bought this Rendar sketchbook, and this is going to become my main sketchbook. I'm really excited to test this out because not only does this sketchbook claim that it is bleed proof, it's ghosting proof. So if that's the case, I'm going to do awesome 2-page spreads. But this also claims to be it's perfect for all mediums. It's a mixed media sketchbook in its truest and purest form. It is a little bigger, it does have more pages, so I'm really excited to try this out. It's also a hardcover instead of the soft cover that I'm used to, so I'm really excited to give this a full test. This will also make a video I want to make a little easier, having this be my normal sketchbook. It also fits in my bag perfectly, which is on the side. You can't see it, but it's there. So very excited about that. However, I'm going to try something new. So not only am I doing something new in not getting a 6 Strathmore Mixed Media sketchbook, switching to Rendar, I am also going to try this. I've never had 2 sketchbooks that I filled simultaneously. This one, I am. So I did purchase a Strathmore watercolor sketchbook. It is soft. It is watercolor paper. This one comes with 48 pages, so I'm really excited to give this a test. And yeah, it is textured like watercolor, and I really want to get more into watercolor. You know, I did make this awesome ultimate watercolor set, and I can't wait to make the video for this one. I already wrote the script for it, so very excited. And yeah, I just really am trying some new stuff, you know, having a sketchbook dedicated to just watercolor, and then having my normal sketchbook, so hopefully that works out well. I don't know if it's going to, but I'm really excited to do that. I also picked up this set of Winsor Newton Grays, which I love their gray set. I actually really like this more than the Copic one, because the Copic one comes with a Fineliner. You know, it's nice, but I'd rather just get a full gray set. And yeah, these things are not only cheaper than Copic and Prismacolor, in my opinion, they're a higher quality. So very happy to pick these up. And the last thing is something from the comic shop that I've been wanting for a while. This is Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash issue 1. Now, unfortunately, they didn't have the full set. They only had the first like 3 or 4 issues. But yeah, this is awesome. It's Bruce Campbell. It's a gorgeous painting of him too. Like, I love it. You know, Bruce Campbell's Ash is one of my favorite horror characters of all time. He's one of the few reoccurring horror heroes in a franchise. Like, we don't have that many. Like, we have Dr. Loomis and we have Laurie Strode, both of them from the Halloween franchise. So, you know, not a lot there. Like, Nancy's been in 2 Nightmare movies, and then the actress played herself in Wes Craven's new Nightmare. So yeah, 3 times. But anyway, ash is awesome. I love it, and this is gonna look so good on my wall for $15. That was a great deal in my opinion, because I've seen the single issues sell for like $20 or $25, so 15's really good. So that's all the loot for today, and that's really the updates for today. Just doing a lot of essentially just cleaning and organizing. You know, it's really tough because I'm also still working, so my vacation time doesn't kick in for a little bit. I also got the wedding, I almost said wedding. The wedding invitations already went out, so of course I'm really excited. All my groomsmen, all the bridesmaids, you know, said they were going, and a lot of the important family members are going, so very, very excited. Oh man, this has been insane. I'm super excited. But that's everything for today. We'll do some more updates. We'll do a final tour of the house when it's all emptied, and we're going to talk more about what our future plans are at the end of the month when we get closer to our final move. So very excited about that, and you guys are really going to enjoy this. I think it's going to open up more opportunities. Now, of course, we're going to have a few months where we're getting everything organized, getting everything all set up, but we're going to have more opportunities to make bigger and better content, and we're going to push this channel further. And thank you all for subscribing. We are at 400 subscribers, almost halfway to 1,000, so thank you all very much. Alright, so it's actually the next day from when I filmed that clip. I'm going to give you guys a quick little sneak peek. You can see the house is definitely getting packed up. The few times I've actually shown the rest of my house, it's been pretty packed. You can see my mom's knickknacks and everything, dining room table, but no, it's all gone. It's literally all gone. It's crazy. Now, I figured me and Coco could go for a walk today. Yes, she has a collar, but I always walk her with a harness because I don't want to put too much stress on her neck, and I'm a firm believer in harnesses because, you know, I don't want to be tugging on my dog's neck. I feel like that will cause some issues and problems. She probably doesn't like it. A harness, you know, it's just more secure, it's easier on her back, and she's so cute and little. And then we don't have a actual like nylon leash, we just have this one because my friend Nicole was telling me stories about how her friend, who was a dog trainer, actually lost her fingers because the nylon, well, it does what nylon does when it's pulled and severed limbs. So yeah, I thought I'd just get a small one. This gives her enough room to kind of walk around, and we're just gonna have some fun today. Come on, Coco. She's just having a ball. She loves walks. She's just like, yeah, I'm gonna explore everything. Coco! Coco Bean! You having fun on our walk? Is the concrete too hot? No? You're still going.